Testing 1, 2, 3. Sweet. What is the return on investment of your attention? I've finally been able to put into words what I've been thinking about recently. So I make video editing assets for video editors. And a couple months ago, I was having a hard time with posting consistently on Twitter. And I decided at one point to I'm gonna post 3 to 4 times a day, a variety of different things. And I'm gonna try that for 2 weeks or a month or something like that. And so I worked really hard to just write a bunch of tweets and write a bunch of like engagement sort of stuff and engage with people, and I scheduled posts and did all this stuff, and I was, I'd spend like an hour in the morning working on that. The idea was that if I'm more active, engaging more with other people's stuff, and not in an inauthentic way, but genuinely just kind of making the thoughts out loud, because sometimes it's really easy to look at a bunch of posts and watch stuff but not actually comment or reply or engage. You think the stuff in your head, but you don't actually write it down and post it. So I was working really hard on that. I did that consistently for a month, and I watched my engagement with my Gumroad store where I sell my products. And I saw very little activity, very little fruits of my labor from those efforts. And so then I stopped posting, and I did almost nothing for, I don't know, it was like 2 weeks or a month or something like that. So I did a lot, and then I did almost nothing. And there's very little change between those two things. And I found in all of that time, the thing that made the most impact, the most views and downloads on my Gumroad was right after I made a YouTube video and I linked my Gumroad store page. And it was kind of this weird thing of like, I worked so hard for a month, like an hour every day, posting stuff with very, very little, with very few results. And then I make one YouTube video that, took me, with all the editing and stuff, maybe it took me 3 hours. And I saw more results from that. Like I made a couple of sales, and it was like, whoa, what? And for everybody, it's different. For every single person, where they put their efforts and what they get from that is going to be different. So it's something that has to be evaluated on a case-by-case, individual-by-individual basis. But my attention being on Twitter and spending so much time on Twitter and getting sucked into Twitter and getting sucked into the scrolling, and then being like, oh yeah, that's right, what am I here for? I'm here to make posts and engage with people, and kind of this constant back and forth battle, and spending this time like this was all fruitless. Right? And I think it's so easy to get sucked into the endless timeline. It's so easy, and you're like, wait a second, I know what's happening. I know that they're farming my attention. I know that that's what's happening, but I am getting sucked into it, and I don't want to put my attention there. I don't want to spend my time there. So the past 6 weeks I've been on paternity leave, and I've spent significantly less time on social media just because I'm away from my desk, and I'm away from, waiting for something to export, and I'm away for waiting for stuff to process. I'm away for waiting for Premiere to reload. And so I'm out in the yard. I'm out around the house. I'm with my boys and my wife, and we're doing things. We're going out places. So I'm just physically away and mentally away from social media stuff. And I find that maybe every day I'll get a download or two on my Gumroad store, and I'm not even doing anything. I'm not making most of those are not sales. Like I would say that 95% are just downloads of free stuff that I have on my Gumroad. Totally fine. But I'm not doing anything. I'm not posting anywhere aside from here, but even when I'm not posting here, I'm still getting these downloads. I don't know how people are finding this stuff. Maybe it's referrals. I have no idea. But it's just, I spent all that time trying on Twitter, my attention being there, with no results. Why am I spending my time like that? And the flip side to that too is, I don't know if it's a flip side, but I've spent 400 hours over the past 3 years building sort of this product business for myself and making very little money. And at the same time, it's like, well, what if I'd spent that time at my day job? Maybe I would be making way more at my day job because I work at a small business. And so the hours that I've spent on the side being put into my day job is actually significant for a 5-person company. And the return on investment of that could be thousands of dollars versus like the few hundred that I've made off my side project. And so, money's not the goal, but I also have a family and I have, all of that infrastructure of a family to support. And, I'm okay just